This is Adrian Hart with your Southeast Colorado news on seconews.org, and this is About the Valley, our community affairs program about the people and the places and even the events in Southeast Colorado. With us today is local entrepreneur Damon Nichols. Hey, Damon, how we doing?
I'm doing great, man.
All right. Now that we got our studio put together and we can do a little podcast here, thank you for your patience while I've been finagling with the equipment here.
That's fine.
Yeah, keeping up the good fight. That's what I tell myself every day I come in here and I argue with the computer. Anyways, life is pretty good. You've had a very busy year, a very progressive year. Tell us about, it's been a year ago since the fire at Creekside. We saw our walkthrough video yesterday, so that's up on the YouTube and it's up on Facebook. You guys can check that out if you haven't seen it. But yeah, it's like a new restaurant in there. And tell us a little bit about the year and how you started the year.
Yeah, well, a year ago today, about this time, I was standing there watching my place burn. So, yeah, it was pretty devastating. But I think that some of my employees were more devastated by it than I was, because I remember looking over at my wife, and neither one of us was really freaking out, and I walked over and I said, "Hey, I think this is a good thing. This happened to us or happened for us and not to us." So it's been rough. It was hard to watch all of our hard work go up in flames, but we've put a lot of work into it this year, and we're just about to be back open again. We've had a lot of stuff come up this year. It's been a very challenging year. We've suffered loss in a few other ways. We've just ran into some hurdles that we've had to overcome, and I've taken on some projects that have kept me away. So I've kept my guys busy in other states. So one of the other things that I've been committed to, so I got to continue that. And right now, that looks like it's another business that's really taken off. So
then now we're talking about your Midwest Steel Builders Ltd, right?
Yeah, that's the we pretty much travel all over the United States putting up steel buildings. So we've been all over the Midwest, everywhere from Washington to Minnesota, and right now we're on a job down in Flagstaff. So.
Yeah, so that keeps you hopping too.
Yeah.
I saw when we were planning on our background images, you showed me all those pictures of New York City, like New York at night, and just gorgeous pictures of the city, looking over the Hudson River and all that. So you get to see the world too.
Yeah, I wasn't out there for that. I was out there for a race.
Okay.
But it was, just one of the places that I've been to this year. That's the one thing about 2022 is I've got to see a lot of places I've never been before. So it's really exciting. We get to travel a lot. I've got guys that work for me that have never been out of the state until they were working with me, and they've been more places than they've ever been, and they love it. And
wow.
So, yeah, it's great. I got a great bunch of guys. I'm very thankful for the crew that I've got. And I am trying to build this business up. I will be looking for some other guys that are willing to travel, some people that have got their heads together and want to travel and make some good money, because this business is starting to get really busy. And
very cool.
Yeah, we've got a lot of repeat customers, and we're starting to become a pretty good name in the storage shed industry. So
okay, so Midwest Steel Builders Ltd is kind of taken off.
Yeah,
and Creekside Smokehouse is wholeheartedly recovering.
Yes, if
not, to those final stages of you're going to start putting the paint on. Boy, I can't wait to see the finished product with the new bar.
Yeah, we've just got a few little things left to do in there, but we're real close. Isaac has done a great job. He's got the meat down. He's got this perfected.
I tell you what, I can tell you what times he's buying his meat, because I bump into him in the store almost every night.
Yeah, so he's doing a really good job. I'm so thankful for all the people that have stuck with us. But yeah, I think it's going to be big. We're going to offer some things there. We want it to be a good place for people to come and go and be able to, enjoy barbecue. We have some surprises coming up too. We're looking at some things there for people, outside of we do cornhole, and we've had some other people that are interested in doing tournaments and stuff there. So we're looking at that.
All right.
And
Kind of adding those entertainment venue
yeah,
activities that you talked about years ago
Yeah.
when you got it rolling.
yeah,
I remember talking about you were going to finish that patio, and then you were almost done with the process
Yeah.
when the fire happened, man.
yeah. Well, and our whole plan was to be able to run bands and do entertainment and make it a good place for people to enjoy, live music and other things.
Yeah, catch up with community, have a good time, and great entertainment, good food.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason we didn't. We decided to go ahead and rebuild and make it what we originally planned. We just had a chance to make some improvements, and
So we are going to see the patio this year.
eventually, well, I don't. Yeah, I want to say we'll have the patio back. We've ran into some. We've got to make some compliance, meet some compliance things. So that's one of the hurdles that we've had to overcome. But we'll get around it. No
right.
matter what. Hurdles are there to get over. So
Yep. Very good.
yeah, and we want to make the patio where people can come and listen to live music. That was kind of the big thing there. So
Awesome. And then you'll have to chase me out at the end of the night every weekend.
right.
Yeah, very good. So besides the upcoming patio and the new construction going on with Creekside Smokehouse, you've been very busy, and you're going to be releasing a book soon.
Yes,
So the title of the book?
the Breakout Blueprint.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the title and why that's your title. That
Well,
might be the best way to give a
yeah,
summation of it, right?
Yeah, and the subtitle is basically shattering old beliefs, breaking bad habits, and overcoming fears, just to achieve true freedom. And that's basically what it's about. It's breaking out of cycles, breaking bad habits, breaking out of old mindsets, getting out of your comfort zone, and finding new things. And if you continue to stay in the same place as you're at, you're never going to grow anywhere. So it's taken me bigger part of my life to figure it out, but once I did, then it just opened so many more doors for me. And this year it's my breakout year, I believe, and I think I'm going to see things that I've never seen. I've met a lot of really good people in the last year, and got into some groups with some people, and found things that I never thought I'd find before. So,
Yeah, we were talking off mic about getting that core of advisors built, and how when you have that specialist that you can call, and they're in your inner circle, and you can tell them the nitty gritty of it, and here's the hurt that I'm up against, and I know that in your industry you can work around that. Having those advisors back you up is huge.
Yeah. You always need somebody. If you want to grow, you got to always have somebody that's ahead of you, and you want to never be afraid to ask for help. And that's one of the things. I struggled with pride most of my life, and I tried to do it all by myself. And now it's like, man, I don't know how to do any of this stuff. This is a first for me.
Yeah, no, this is fantastic, Damon. I've done quite a few of these now, and it's very much stumbling through the dark to try to get it set up correctly. And now I've even adjusted it some more here with your experience. And it's awesome to break out and do those new things, and they're life changers.
Yeah, they are. They are. Well, you don't stumble as bad when you've got people that already know.
Exactly.
That can shine a light. So that's one thing I've found out is I don't know very much of anything when it comes to this. So there's a lot of people out there that are really, really willing to help. That's one thing I found in this community is there's so many people willing to give advice, willing to help you, and that's great. And so you just take advantage of it.
Heck yeah, very good. So thank you for calling me up and saying, let's do this interview.
Yeah.
We've been talking about it for a little while. I was really surprised that you'd written a book. Tell us about that process a little bit, could you?
Well, I've been wanting to do it for a long time, and it's kind of crazy how it happened, because one of my investor buddies, he's he's friends with a guy that publishes books,
Mm-hmm.
and so he hooked me up with the guy. I called him, and some advice that he gave me is, because I always thought, well, I want to be a little bit farther. I want to achieve a little bit more. I don't think I've done enough work. I don't feel like I'm to the point where I could give advice.
Right. You got to feel like you've accomplished those monumental
Right.
tasks before you can do that, right?
But you don't, like, when do you start? Because you'll never achieve that. That's one thing I'm finding out. You'll never get to where you think you should be. You need to just do it. And that's what I did, is I pulled the trigger, I did it, and I'm so glad I did, because a year from now I'm going to have more experiences, and I'm probably going to write another book on something different.
Right.
So, take where you're at. And now I'm trying to, advise people, because I have a few friends of mine that they're very experienced in certain areas. So I'm like, man, you should write a book.
Right.
And they, they go through the same thing that I did when I was up against this. But, if anybody out there listening, they should really listen to Mike Fallett, read the $1 Million Book, because he kind of explains it all.
Okay.
But basically, it's a ghostwriter process, and because that's the other thing that I didn't know. It's like, well, I'm not a good writer. I didn't want to spend a whole bunch of time writing stuff down, because I tried it several ways. I tried to record my thoughts for the day, and
then type it out.
yeah, and it just I'm
Yeah.
spinning my wheels, and that's,
Yeah, no, I can certainly relate to that.
yeah. So once he, once I talked to him, all kinds of light bulbs went on. I'm like, okay, so I don't have to put all this work in. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do this. They're going to do it all for me.
Right.
So now it's just a matter of, what do I want to do? What do I want to focus on?
Mm-hmm.
And once I figured that out, and now it's taught me so much, especially just in the last couple of months. I've learned so much from these people. Focus on what you want to do, and then all of the stuff around you, it doesn't become so important. It'll take care of itself.
Right.
So that's basically what I'm really learning, is focusing on what I want to do. And that's now, because I didn't really have a reason when I was wanting to write the book.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, oh, I want to write a book.
Right.
I've had a lot of really crazy experiences, and I've kind of been through a lot in life. I thought, well, I just want to write it and share my story. But now it's become way more than just, I want to share my story. So now it's, okay, how can I help people?
Right.
These are the steps that I took, to go from being this, I spent my entire life working for somebody, but I spent most of my adult life in trouble, in and out of prisons, institutions, jails, treatment centers, strung out on some form of substance or another. And,
Right.
To where I finally had got to that end, and I realized that, I don't want to do that anymore. And so now I can use all of what I've learned to maybe help other people. Okay, how do you break out? How do you get to that point? What are the first steps that you need to take? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where my book is directed right now. So,
wow, that's awesome, Damon. Beautiful. To take the concept of, I'm doing this for me because I have all these stories, and then in the process of which, of putting that together, you mature to the point that I'm doing this for my readers.
Yeah.
So that they can actually benefit from my work and my experiences.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. I'm very, very happy we did this interview. I'm very proud to have this message on my network, because it's so in tune with my core values on wanting to take that useful public information and share it with our community.
Right. Yeah, our community needs it. People need it. I see so many times that, and it's crazy, because this is why I stayed off Facebook for so long. Today,
dude, and this is like, it's like a reflection of my life too.
Yeah. So today I started a Facebook. I'm 54 years old, and I decided today to start a Facebook.
Right.
But
the reason behind that is so that you can share a message that's going to positively impact your community.
Right. Yeah, and so much that I see on there is people just bashing other people. I look, and
Oh,
it got so bad,
it's
especially
so
in
ugly.
2020. Yeah,
Yep.
it was horrible. Everybody's trying to bring everybody else down, and it all comes down to, the ego, people's ego of,
Yep.
the only way that I can become better is by making somebody else look worse. And
That is not the way the world
no, that's
works.
not the way it works. And how can I make you become better? What can I do to help you? And when you change those belief systems, how can I help you? I don't care. I want to see you become successful and become better than me.
Right.
And that's where I'm at now. It's like, who can I help break out of these systems or whatever and become successful? Because that's what it's about. That's how you help people.
That's right. And sometimes being that example in leadership is exactly what the community needs.
Yeah.
And, again, I want to reiterate your core values fit so in tune with what I'm trying to do with Seco News on the restoring and modernizing the media local to Southeast Colorado. My mission statement is not about Seco News. My mission statement is about my impact on the other media that Seco News has already created.
Right.
And that's, you lead the way and
How
share
yeah.
your experience.
How can you guys work together to become better?
Exactly.
Everybody can become better. One person doesn't have to be better than the other person for you both to be very great.
Exactly. And if the relationship's healthy, then that positive influence affects both of you. And that's certainly the way we're trying to bring up our local media. And to bring in a local author this is your first time in ink, first time being published. It's huge coming out of little old Southeast Colorado.
Yeah, it's crazy. And the people that know me, and I grew up here. I love this place. I was born and raised here.
Yep.
But I wasn't very well liked, and when I left here, I left in handcuffs and was not very welcomed back when I got here. But now, it's a different story. I think I'm pretty loved by a lot of people here, and I love this place. I love my community. I love the people here, and I want to give back. I'd like to see this place become more than what it is. I think there's a lot here to offer, and
I agree with you, Damon.
I'd like to see more businesses here. I'd like to see, I'm huge into fitness. Anybody that knows me, they see me running around the streets,
Right.
running up and
I
down the
think
railroad tracks.
his first post on Facebook is going to be him running.
Yeah, so I'm big into fitness, and I'd like to see more people that were more health conscious, and because that's a big one. That's a big part of becoming
Success.
better. Yeah, successful. You work on yourself and in every way, and you just cutting out all of those bad habits. And so, I would like to see more people, do that. And if I can be a positive influence in that, I will.
All right. Very good.
So,
I'm sure a positive influence is about to roll out late January, early February with
Right.
the Breakout Blueprint.
Yeah.
I want you to let me know how to let people know how to get a hold of their copies.
Okay, it will be on Amazon, and probably I'm not sure. There's going to be a lot of other platforms that it's going to be on. It'll have hard copies. I'd like to see it in our local stores, in Barnes and Noble, Walmart.
The Lighthouse right up here.
Yeah.
She carries local authors.
Yeah,
I've done a couple interviews in her place
Yeah,
with local authors who wrote about, fighting their storms in their personal battles through their life. Right here in Southeast Colorado.
Yeah. Well, it starts local. It starts small.
Yeah.
And so,
anything you want to add, Damon?
no, I'm just really, really grateful. I'm so thankful for everything I had. I'm glad my wife has been my biggest supporter, Celeste. I'm so thankful for her. She's right there. She's been with me through all of this. She's really encouraged me to push and be the best person I can. And so, I love her, and I thank her for all of the hard work. But I just thank all the people for everything they've done, and I know I'm going to be doing a lot this year, and I look forward to seeing all the people that helped me, all of the people that I looked up to. I want to see them out in events and meetings and stuff like that. So I'm
Yeah.
really looking forward to all of these people, meeting these people, sharing stages with them, being at these events. So
Yeah. 2023
yeah,
is going to be a big year for
be a
you.
big year. Yeah.
All right. Very good. Thank you so much, Damon. I appreciate your time and I appreciate your efforts in our community and the impact that you're having on the people of Southeast Colorado.
Well, I hope it makes a difference.
I think it will.
All
I'm
right.
looking forward to reading your book.
All right.
All right, very good. For Damon Nichols and the people of Southeast Colorado, I'm Adrian Hart with your Southeast Colorado News.